Welcome back to another video, guys. Zach with Money Pit RC. Today's video, we're going to be going over the WPL C14. The last video we did do a little bit of modifications. This video, we did a lot more. So I want to show you what I've done. And we all know that the direct fit parts for these vehicles are not direct fit. You're going to have to do some modifications to make them fit. So I want to show you what we've done to make it perform how it performs, because it does perform really well. There is a few setbacks, which I will let you guys know in this video. So let's get on with today's video. So as you can see from last time, it has a much better stance. Sits quite lower, a little wider. It also does have some cosmetic upgrades, as you can see. So we're going to go over that stuff now. All right, we're going to go over the cosmetic upgrades that we've done so far. So we did add a faux winch on the front, which is just a 3D printed winch, just to give a little bit more looks. We also did paint the fender flares, just to kind of give it some dynamic. We also did paint the, I would say, door moldings to try to give it like that depth, like of an actual door. And on the hood, it already had the indents, but we just added some paint. And for the door moldings, we did add a little bit of black paint on the inside of the doors just to give it, like I said, that depth. As we did add some white lettering on the tires just to give it that look, which I think they look awesome on this truck. And then in the last video, we did add headlights, fog lights, and the 4 pod lights on the roof, which they do illuminate orange, which is a really good look. Little ammo boxes and a little jerry can on the side. Then I can't forget, we did add the RC Plate Shop's Money Pit RC plate. It ties it in really well. Love the way it looks. All right, so we're going to go over the performance modifications that we did this week, and then we will review what we did the previous week. So the first thing that we did was the axle mounted servo, which that really helped the performance 120%. The only issue is we had to cut the factory tray out because this did have a chassis mount servo. So once you cut that tray out, just so the servo can fit in between the frame rails, you do have to drill and tap a new front bumper support just so the front bumper could stay on. And then what I did is I added an adjustable link that connects the servo horn to the actual knuckle, just because the stock one was a little bit too long and it diminished the steering angle. We had to grind down the inside of the knuckles just so we can have a little bit more swing, which really helped it a lot because this thing straight out of the box had little to no steering angle. So the next thing we've done is we did do the aluminum shock towers, which those were pretty much bolt on. We did have to drill one hole and tap it because it only had a line for one hole. We had to drill and tap one hole, but that's okay. And then once you get the upper shock on, so with us doing the aluminum axle brace, we did have to take off the stock links, and inside this has no pivot ball because it slid into the stock axle bracket. So what we had to do is we actually had to use a pivot ball from a 1/10 scale armor granite. We had to cut the ends off and we had to shove it inside here, just so it didn't have any play back and forth. Because if you would have put that through with nothing inside of here, this arm would just move around and have too much slop. Here's what I'm talking about. See how this side has it cut off? That side still doesn't. So if you make both sides look like that and just literally have a ball that fits inside here, no problem, and then you can tighten it down. Because when I first installed these and I didn't, this arm moved back and forth really hard and the whole axle would move. So that's what you have to do to have the stock arms. Yes, I know there's companies out there that makes arms that have like this adjustable turnbuckle style, but I really don't like those because they come loose all the time. So the stock links are fine. They don't really have any issues. Then it's pretty much the same on the rear also. And then we also did do some 59mm shocks, obviously running no springs because it would make it lifted too much with the springs. So we did do the shocks with the shock towers. And then in my last video, I did talk about the 3D printed 5mm to 7mm hexes. So that's literally all it is. It's just a 7mm hex with a 5mm inside diameter that just slides over the stock axle stub. And then you put any SCX24 or TRX4M, whatever has a 7mm hex, you can just put on there and just use the factory screw. And then here's a better example of the V2 electronics for the axle SCX24. I just put some 3M tape on it and just stuck it here just so I can still access the on and off switch as I have the cab on and that little box. I did shove a Enduro 180 motor in there. I did mention in my last video that TRX4M motor was a direct fit with no issues. I had a whole bunch of people asking if that's true, and this is 100% true because it just bolts right in. So I'm going to get the body on now, and I want to talk about the disadvantages that this thing has that hopefully somebody can help me with. Overall, this rig is really good. I would say I have less than $100 in all the modifications, which isn't bad for a big 1/18 scale crawler. So the couple disadvantages that I do have is you can see right there that the rear drive shaft is starting to twist. So eventually that thing will strip out. So hopefully I can find some metal drive shafts that'll fit, maybe some universal ones. And then issue number 2 is the transmission skid. You can see it hanging down right there. I wish there was a way to make that like a flat skid so it doesn't get caught on anything. Maybe raise the transmission up a little bit, kind of like what I did on my rock bouncer. And I do have this whole rig, so I'm not too worried about the lower shock mounting bolts. I'm just really worried about that transmission. So maybe if I can somehow raise it up just to try to get it just a little bit higher, because it snags on everything. And that, it's a really great rig. I don't mind it. It's really good. It looks good. It crawls well that we've done these few modifications. So let's get it on the trail and see how it looks, see how it performs. Alright guys, that's the video on the C14. Let me know what you guys think of this rig. Like I said before, I love it. It's really fun, dirt cheap. Leave a comment below what you guys want to see next on this rig. I'm really excited to see where we can take this thing. So like I said, leave a comment below what you want to see on this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you in the next video.